here. So like when it happens once or twice, maybe it's a coincidence, but this is like literally the sixth time. So I mean,
Most of the time he's on the road, like he's always moving. So I think that's the problem.
No, for today's one, he's not at the room. He has to stay today. He promised to stay one place today. He said we're all going there.
His PO is telling you stay one place and you believe him.
Today is good. Today he promised us that he will stay one place. He's
He
not going
tells
to
you
account
he
for
will
that.
stay one
So
place, you will believe him.
I don't want to believe that he did not stay one place. He promised us that today that he has us today. So it's just that frustrating.
I've sent him a request, and I'm trying to even invite him as a speaker, but I can't find. But he's on the space. I can see him here.
Is there someone close to him that has a Twitter account that can come on while we if he has to talk to that person?
Okay, please, yeah, please.
Yeah, if there's someone that has a Twitter on the next time.
Let me speak to you.
Yeah, sir, please do that, sir. We're trying to see if he can request it through someone else's account. Please, guys, do not request the mic, please.
Oh, I think that's better. And he's right here, but I don't know. I think it's his. I think it's his network or possibly his own internet, its own Twitter.
Sarah, can you see N6?
I've not checked for N6. Let me check.
I
Let me
can't
check
see
for
N6.
N6.
I've been searching for N6. N6 is not.
N6 just messaged me that he can see PO.
He's here. I can see PO too. His PO is right here. But I don't know. Like I've sent him a request. I've sent him the mic. I don't know what the problem is. He's on the space.
So that means like say they don't spoof your own network too. That's what you did. So now. Looking at the N6, and it's not showing N6 is on any space.
I don't suppose someone around PO could get him to host the space. Could they?
That also works. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yes.
that could work. That could work. You can text him too. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll through again. Now everybody has changed their names. I'm seeing like 3 Peter Obis on this phone. I can't see N6. N6 is not here.
So, are you in Nigeria?
That's a security question. You know that, right?
So the reason I was asking was because of the network. Like, yeah, in hindsight, that was a dumb question to ask, but but that's why I was asking.
I can't see N6 is not on the space, but PO is here. PO is on the space. I think the best we can do is let him host the space. I don't know.
I agree.
Possibly is from his end. It's his Twitter.
He can host or
I've told him that option also. I told him to host the space. If he can host the space, but he's saying let him see if he can. If it's not possible,
is there anyone next to him that has a Twitter account?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you see any requests now apart from one request?
Yeah, it's just one request, one Keaton. Let me see.
No. Just one request, right?
It's just one request. There's only one request on the space right now.
Yes, it's only Keaton. Keaton.
N6, if you can hear us, nobody can see on this space. So N6 say he can see PO. So
okay, I've sent him a speaker invite. Now let him accept it.
You're sent to PO?
Yes. Let him accept it. I've sent Pure a speaker invite. Oh, who can I call? That's going to be close to me. Let me call Michael Jude. I can't find my small phone. I've sent Pure a speaker invite. I don't know.
This is frustrating, bro.
I've sent him a speaker invite. This is the third time I'm sending him. I can see him here. I'm sending him speaker invite.
Let me see. I can see Joe Obedient just requested the mic, so probably let me see if Joe Obedient has the solution to this. Oh man. Let's keep trying. I don't know what to say.
I've sent him speaker invite. And he's on this space. He's here. He's right here.
Why can't I see him? Can you screenshot
I can see him.
Please
clear.
screenshot your this thing. Let me see. And send it to me, please.
Send you a screenshot.
I can't see him.
Saddam, Otumba, and Sarah, turn off your locations. Turn off your locations under Twitter. Turn off your locations and try again.
Okay. My location is off. So it's up.
He's not referring to your GPS location. He's referring to the location in your Twitter settings.
Yeah, it's on Never.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And if someone else can, I'm not sure if there's someone with PO, he needs to turn off his location, because the only way they can figure wherever he is out to affect his network or app will be knowing his location. So if his location is up, or if he has a VPN, he can easily connect. I totally believe this is what is going on right now. But if someone can just help him with that, just to eliminate that fact out.
I mean,
People are saying he keeps coming off and coming on. I'm
but
just
right now he's even
Clearly, his connection is being attacked. This is very obvious to me, and we've seen this happen.
Saddam, sorry guys. Let's try this. Sarah, you can see him. Please start a space. Just start a blank space, and he should join that space. Let's see if it's a Saddam thing.
okay. Just
yes, please.
I want to take.
And
I want to take a screenshot.
Then David, you can also do the same thing. If David, I don't know if you can see him. If anybody that can see him can start a space. Any of us that can see him can start a space and invite him. Let's see. Then please, he should try and update his Twitter app. I know this happens when Twitter has a new update. Check for an update.
Pretty sure he has automatic updates on. So
He needs to go out, then go to his DMs, then from the speaker invite, click on that speaker invite and join again. I think that's the best option. Go out of the space, because he's currently on the space. He needs to go out, then check his DMs for the speaker invite, and then you click on that speaker invite and join the space again.
Man, this is crazy, honestly. Jimmy, are you there now?
Yep, I'm here.
I think you give us a music break. Let us
Oh,
while we wait for our chairman.
of course, of course. 1 minute. Let me get a playlist real quick. This place go hold today. Now play then they play.
No, N6 is also not here. I still can't find him.
Sarah, have you done what Jimmy suggested with the blank space?
Oh, I didn't know I was muted. I said yes. That's what I'm even trying to do now.
Sarah, I guess your block list is preventing some people from getting on the space, Sarah. So,
Saddam, somebody said there's a way you can send. I don't know if it's possible to send a co-host to someone that's not on the space. Co-host invite. I've never seen it, but somebody just sent it
yeah,
to my.
you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't. Yeah, the person has to be actively engaged on your space before you can. Um, yeah, I can.
So that's the normal song, eh? Now our whole remix with this one.
Jimmy,
Yeah, go on, Saddam.
I think I was saying if you could play that sound beat you played for us yesterday, that his interview. I think if you could do that breakdown for us while we wait for him, it would be
Oh
amazing.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. May I hear our people first. We'll carry on with that one. All right.
Yes. Hi guys. Sorry, Saddam. So I just spoke to him on WhatsApp, and MJ is going to Michael Judy is going to try and use. So I sent them a direct link. So also, Madam Aisha said she has also been having that issue. Aisha Yusuf, she said she's also trying to come on the space. So I've also sent her the link. So right now he's even speaking on Zoom. So he said I should also send to Michael Jude. So they'll try to use that speaker link and just join in directly. So let's see if that's going to work. So they have actually gone out of the space now. Now they're going to use that.
Sarah, are you there? Okay. Jimmy, continue, please.
People will say, hey, wait a minute. I'm telling the youths that are here, It is your future that they are toying with. I have children, I have kids. I have 2 lovely children that are graduates. Somebody told me just yesterday, he said to me, my friend Chida, we were going somewhere, and I was telling him about the text my daughter sent to me. I wish I read that type of text to you and you will understand. And somebody said to me, oh, I saw your son going to, that one was in Vietnam. He was going to run somewhere. He said he's going for interview for job. Peter, can't you give him a job? Peter, can't you do this? The boy doesn't even have, I said, none of my children have car. I was the only person who is governor and bank chairman, not to them. Nobody elected them one. They have to look for job. They have to do what they need to do. Hello?
There we go. He's here. Finally.
Here we
Your
go.
Excellency is here.
Thank
Finally.
Can you guys
Finally.
can you
Let's show him
guys
some love. Let's show him some
Please,
love.
let me.
Jimmy, wait. Jimmy, wait.
Let me start
You get
by.
somewhere ready to this am.
Can you guys hear me? Hello, everybody.
Jimmy, wait. He gets
Oga
somewhere
is
ready
here.
to
Oh,
this am.
PO
Wait.
is here, please. I've added him now.
The emperor, the conqueror, the champion, the lion is here.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to start this show from Africa. Request the mic back. Peter is here. So, guys, sir, can you hear us, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry for the frustration, sir.
Thank you so much, David. Hello. Let me first start by most sincerely apologizing to all of you. I wish it's something you can see me. I need to kneel down and apologize to all of you. It's a nightmare trying to get by. At the time, I was meant to believe, David, that there must be something wrong. There must be conspiracy or something here. But thank God we got there and everything. So I sincerely apologize. Mine for us is just to have what I can call a sort of a family meeting to be able to reassure everybody that we remain on course in this journey. That is going to be a difficult, tedious, painful journey, but that we must all remain on course. It is not going to be easy, but this is what we've committed to. We're all committed that we must change the situation of our country. We all regret being part of this situation, very shameful situation we found ourselves today. And in order to change it, we must remain on course. We must remain strong. I know how painful, how depressed most of you are. But if you check what we've been able to achieve in just a year, imagine what will happen if we remain on course for a few years. Right now, we're in the courts. The tribunal is going on well. I can't predict what the outcome will be, but I'm very optimistic the outcome will be okay, because even the judges themselves are on trial. I just plead that all of us remain peaceful, law-abiding, making sure that whatever we do, whatever we say, stays within the rule of law, what is allowed within the law. I assure you, in the end, the God that is seeing the pain and suffering of Nigerians will see us through. I'm very upbeat about that. I know how difficult it is for me personally and what I'm going through personally, but we must continue. I know most of you have questions on this. Please, if there's anything you want me to clarify, please feel free.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. It's a pleasure having you here on the platform. I must say that for the past couple of weeks, obedience, your supporters that have carried this whole your message behind your back, that have done a whole lot of hard work for you, for the movement for a new Nigeria, have been feeling let down by the system. The system has really it has crushed a whole lot of us, and we have found we're at that point whereby we have been looking for a voice to listen to you, to hear you speak, and I think you came at the very right time. So people are here, they want to ask you questions, and we want to make sure that everybody can talk to you, Nigerians can talk, your people can talk to you, they can ask you questions as much as possible. But we cannot open the floor to everyone. So, guys, if you're listening to us on the platform right now, you're welcome to the Power Facts space with Peter Obi. Please, if you have a questions for him, just go straight to the comment section. Use the hashtag Peter will be on Parallel Facts. You have to use the hashtag, and we'll be reading your questions for those that we cannot bring up here. But we're going to try our best to bring up as many people as possible. And if you're up here, please keep your questions as short as possible. We are not going to allow any question beyond a minute so that we can take as many as possible. You all know how much people want to speak to him, how much people want to interact with him. We're going to give all our people a chance to speak and talk to the man today. So thank you, sir. It's a pleasure sharing this platform with you. David, my brother, thank you. N6, I cannot see you. Please request the mic. I don't know what to do anymore. I've done my best to try and bring you up here. So I'm gonna yield the mic right now to David. David, if you have a question for our guy, you can start. If not, I think we can start allowing people come up here to ask him questions. I'll let him interact with the people. If not, David, I will yield the mic to you right now. Thank you.
So I would actually like to pass him across to the audience, so to speak, as quickly as possible. But I guess the one I don't know if to call it a question or a clarification that I would like to ask for the benefit of the audience is with regard to the status of the actual petition in courts. And the reason I'm asking this question is that because of the news that emerged on Friday, the flurry of judgments uh, across different courts regarding the purported swearing ceremony on Monday, there's several pieces of misinformation and disinformation swirling around, and there are a number of people who seem to be under the impression that the judgments delivered last week somehow have some sort of a bearing on the subsisting issue at the presidential election tribunal. So I just like Peter Obi himself to officially clarify what is happening and debunk some of these narratives so that we can sort of sing from the same crib sheets going forward.
Well, while we cannot say, I'm not, I won't say what is up, the actual position of what will be the outcome of our case filed in the tribunal. But remember that we have several issues which we're asking the tribunal to be able to deal with. Number one, David, being the issue of the constitutional interpretation of the 25% of FCT. It is a constitutional issue, and that is a critical one. The others being some other issues, issue of what we're dealing with INEC, being able to show the infractions in the process. That is, as we start going on with trial, which will commence on Tuesday, people will see what our case is hinged on. I will say what the decision of the court will be, because ours is to present our case, decision is theirs. And I believe that they're two on trial. It is not going to be easy, but all I'll say is that we're committed to it and we're going to be there. It's going to take a while, maybe within the next 1 or 2 months. The problem people have is that all of us believe that after inauguration, it will be impossible to get justice. But I always keep reminding people that I went through it for 3 years and somebody was in office. Eventually, I got justice. I went through it in course of my life. I've had to upturn and come back with 3 governors. I did it when I won an election in 2003 and stayed for 3 years. When I was impeached, somebody else took over as the governor. Again, I was able to overturn my impeachment, which the court said was wrongly impeached, and came back, and they conducted the election, and I went for tenure interpretation. Eventually, I was again able to come back from that situation. So for me, really, it is a case where all we need is, let's go through it, believing in the rule of law, that the law will prevail, that will get justice. If in the end is otherwise, all I can assure you is that not at any time will I, in this process or in this journey, either compromise or be part of what is wrong. For me, the process is everything. The process through which people get everywhere, it must be far more fundamental than what they do thereafter. So I'm committed to it, and I believe that all of us can stay in it.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, thank you. I think I would like to follow up, because many people come and they reach out to me and they say, Saddam, P.O. always say he has gotten justice before in the courts, but the courts then and the courts now are not the same. That there are different, and that the courts now, and I'm like, probably when you come on this platform, you can explain to the people to understand why, if you had faith in the court then, when many people did not have faith in the court, and many people do not have faith now also in the court, why you still...
Well, people think I only went to court when I was in politics. No, I've actually gone to court as a private citizen. I sued federal government of Nigeria when they banned used vehicle in Nigeria. I sued federal government of Nigeria because then I was a private citizen. And I sued them and I said, nobody who can afford new vehicle buys a used one. You cannot stop people from buying what they can afford. I sued the system. It was police when they banned Molu in Lagos. It was on the same condition. I said, listen, you can't just see somebody who can afford Molu. Everybody wants an air-conditioned vehicle. So unless we challenge that, we cannot say, as they have faith in judiciary. And if they fail, they are part of this system we're trying to change. Nobody's going to be free if anything goes wrong. Anarchy consumes everybody. We've seen everybody end up in IDP camp in various parts of the world. including the high and mighty. So it's not going to. What we are saying here is that we want to make the system better. Today, everybody is unsafe in the country.
Are we struggling to have you, sir?
Yes, I'm here. So for me, let's go through it. The judiciary might seem to have changed, but I still believe in it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. And before I go on, please, I just want to make a passionate plea. Please, if you're on the comments, if you can see my co-host N6, David, please help me check if you can see N6, please. It will be a pleasure to bring up N6 here. If you can see N6 if you're on the space and you can see N6, please let me know. Just hit me up on the comment section so I can bring you up to bring him up here. All right. I think let's open up the space for Nigerians to interact with our presidential candidate. Guys, please retweet the space. Let people know that Peter Obi is live on the Parallel Facts right now, and we can use the hashtag Peter Obi on Parallel Facts to ask questions, because that is the only way we can read questions. We have close to 3,000 comments on the comment section, and I cannot read all those questions. So it is important that we get you guys using the hashtag. Please, guys. Thank you. All right, let's take the first speaker for the day. If you're up here also and you want to ask a question, please, your hands should be up. So we can take a queue. If not, we have to drop and bring other people up. Thank you. All right, Madam Mary White, you have the space, please. Okay, Jimmy, sorry, please.
Yeah.
Let's take a lady, then I'll come to you, please. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, bro. All right, Mary White, you have the space, please, in a minute. Thank you.
Okay, good evening, sir. It's good to talk to you today. My question is, sir, your energy level, your worker level is next to none. So my question to you, what I mean is that today you're in London. The same day, it's likely you'll be in Nasarawa, and the other day you are in another state, and you still maintain this high energy. And as a young person, to me, I'll be honest to you, I'm kind of envious. So for me, is what is your secret? And before you can answer the question, I have a bigger fan here in the name of my mom who just wants to say hi for a few seconds.
Hello, good afternoon, Your Excellency, Mr.
Good
Peter.
afternoon, Mom.
I am a concerned Nigerian, and I am
Thank you.
100% obedient.
Thank you, Mom.
We, the people, are solidly behind you.
Thank you,
and
Mom.
We pray that God will help us reclaim our mandate.
Well, Mom, we're committed to it. And I'm sure God that is seeing the pain and the suffering of people in this state will help us to stop this criminality that our nation
Victory
is going through
ours.
today.
Victory is
and I'm
ours.
sure it will happen.
Yes, and I say victory is ours. Nigeria is
Thank you,
our
Mom.
country. Nigeria is our country, and Nigeria must survive.
It
Long
must.
live the obedience. Long live the
Thank
obedience.
you.
Long
Thank
live
you,
you,
Mom.
Mr. President, my
Thank
president.
you. Thank
Long
you.
live the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
My sister, I don't have any other energy that's better than you have. All I do is that we must be able to fight this, and I can tell you, it is the energy in you, the obedience that are committed in what we're doing. For me, like I keep saying, my desperation is to see Nigeria work, not to be the president, but to see it work. And I know it can work. We can have this pool of talented, committed people and allow criminals to hijack the process. Look at what we're going through. Look at the waste. If you see the struggle now to be anything, look at the amount of money we wasted going through election, spending over $1 billion to conduct an election that nobody will in any way assess as one. Look at even the cancelled so-called census, We haven't even started. We spent a fortune before we can. So we can't go on like this, where people have taken the only thing that thrives in this country today is criminality, and they can't continue. So I'm pleading for all of us to stay on course. It's you that is giving me the energy, your support, your belief in this movement that is giving me the energy.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, Jimmy can come in now with your question.
Right. Good day, Your Excellency. I don't really have any question. I just want to say one or two things. I just want to express my sincere gratitude and to let you know, right, that we, the obedient, we are right behind you. Total support. Mm? But
Thank you.
this is the warning I actually want to pass to you, sir. Please eat well. Mm? Morning, afternoon, and night. Don't break anyone. Don't say you want to fast. Eat well. We don't want a malnourished president. We don't want you staggering when you want to take
No,
over.
thank you
Eat
very much.
well.
Thank
Take
you.
your medication. Stay healthy. We need a healthy president. We don't want a
Thank
shaky
you.
president. Please.
Thank
Mm?
you very much.
And sir, please, I beg, do not apologize on our behalf again. Biko. Don't.
Well,
Because we
let,
are, with all due respect, 1 minute, we are dealing with demons. We will handle them. Let us handle. You do your own political thing. Don't worry. Do the whole briefcase thing. Shake them. Talk to them. We go handle them. Iron
let,
sharpeneth iron. We go handle them. Don't worry. It is politics. We will handle them.
let me plead on that one. Let me plead on that one. Let me plead on it.
All right. Go ahead.
We're trying to change the system. When people say that I apologize, they mention that the other people don't apologize. What I would plead with you is to know that we're trying to change a system, and we must believe that when we're wrong, we will say we're wrong. When we do things that are not right, so apologizing is the part of that new Nigeria we want to build. Being respectful is part of it. Being this is part of it. We can disagree with our fathers. There's nothing wrong in that. But when we do, we'll still apologize to them. Even if they're wrong, we still apologize to them because they're fathers. There's a lot of respect and everything. I can assure you, we'll go on doing that. It's not going to change. And I'm not saying, I know what the obedience, I know what all of us are going through. Nobody has seen me defend it. I believe that you're the right course because nobody can go through what people are going through in Nigeria today. You'll be lucky if you remain sane. It's enough to drive anybody to insanity. It turn themselves into robbers and everything. Do the right thing. The country must survive.
Okay, sir. So if you want to apologize, you can apologize on your own behalf. See, obedient, you just
Okay. No,
give
okay.
and leave us because if you say
No,
one day,
no, I take that.
so
Apologies will be on my behalf.
your
And
behalf,
not
not
on you,
behalf
on
of
behalf of the
uh-huh,
family. It will be on behalf of just
uh-huh.
strictly Mr. Peter Obi.
Because if
The
it's on
family is
behalf
not
of,
included.
if it's on behalf of you go apologize, tire. If you do this one here, I go whip another one, right? More court. You go just dey apologize. They go. So on behalf of you,
You don't
apologize. No
you,
problem.
you don't
Move
do a beg,
forward.
Jimmy. Thank you.
Thank
Move
you.
forward, guys. Please don't come here and ask any questions about the ongoing court case. Please do not do that because it's still in court. We don't want a situation whereby you'll be speaking about what is not actually meant to be spoken of. So please keep your question very simple, short, and straightforward. Thank you very much. Back to you now, Saddam. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother Jimmy. Thank you, sir. And that's just one part of the movement you have not been with, you have not spoken to. So you see that, and I think he speaks for majority of us. Please, Just going forward, I'm happy that you came up here and say you can only speak for Mr. Peter Obi and Obedient Movement. We're on our own. We're fighting this fight on our own because we ran for these elections using you. So please, you shall start.
I've always said that. And I've always told people, even when I was campaigning, you see where David will say something, they'll say, David is this. I say, listen, David is on his own. He's even this. They say, I studied this. I said, these people even disagrees with me. And that is the new family we want to build, where people can assert themselves and say, you're wrong, because I'm not perfect. I'm not consistently wrong, and I apologize where I am. But I want us to build a family where we can be together, believe, even when we're talking about new Nigeria, people say, oh, Peter B can do it. I said, no one person can do it. I won't do it alone. If we had succeeded, we would have sat down and bring the best people on board. And all of us will go into it and try to change it. And if we find anybody wanting, we won't even take 1 second to throw the person overboard and move on with another new person, because this must work.
Thank you very
I
much,
work
sir.
in a system where I've always had people challenge me. In my 8 years of being governor, go ask any commissioner who work with me, they don't sit very close to me. They all disagree with me. People will walk into my office and say, how can your commissioner be talking like this? Ask him to do something, say that I'm coming from the governor. He said he doesn't know who is the governor. I said, because he's the commissioner. We are all co-partners in this struggle. All I assure you that you will not find me wanting. My style may appear to be a little bit weak and everything. And I always tell people, humility is not weakness. It is a virtue. There's nothing wrong in saying I'm sorry. And I'll continue to say I'm sorry. But we'll get there. As long as I don't do what is wrong or offend the family, I have to add a bit of my own style. And I allow other people to do theirs as well. And if there's a place where we need to sit down and discuss, we'll discuss as a family.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Okay, let's take more people in the conversation right now, guys. If you want to ask questions, I'll be taking questions from the comment sections and using the hashtag Peter Obi on parallel facts. That is the hashtag we're trending today, and that's what we'll be asking questions from. So please, if you ask any questions, use that hashtag behind it. If not, I won't be able to read your questions. So please, very important to use the hashtag Peter Obi on parallel facts. Thank you, guys. All of you on the platform right now, you can retweet the space, you can share the space, let people know that our president is up here and he's speaking. So I'm going to take the next question. Let's take a lady right now, Madam Clarita. You've been here for long, so I'm going to give you a minute to ask your question. Thank you very much. You have a minute now.
Thank you, Emir Saddam. Good evening, sir. It's a pleasure
Good
to
evening.
have you on the space, and it's crazy to see the number of people who have joined the space. I'm going to keep my questions short. I have two questions. The first question is, following the unfortunate outcome of the presidential election, we have seen some Western governments who are, supposed to uphold democracy, validating the unconstitutional outcome of this election. How does that make you feel? And my second question is, your decision to run under the Labour Party, inspired a lot of young people to take the bold step into politics, myself included. I contested for the House of Reps seat for Oguja Yala federal constituency, and it was my first time, contesting for any electoral office. Yeah, but it was a very unpleasant experience, to watch the very flawed electoral process, especially as a young woman. It was very demoralizing, and I just wanted to ask if you have any words of advice, because I believe I
My
speak
sister,
for, yes, a lot of
don't
young
be
people.
demoralized. Don't be demoralized. Once we finish this court section, I'm going to start moving around and touring where I'll have opportunity to meet people like you. This year, everything went into a rush. Don't be demoralized. change is a very difficult thing because we're trying to bring a change. Remember, when you try to bring a change, you have for enemy all those who live off the old order. Even those you're trying to better their life, because they're not sure whether you will succeed, are on the fence. So bringing a change is a very difficult thing. I've been in this process. I contested an election in Anambra State after I had 3 years of campaign, spending a fortune of my own resources. I was in court for 3 years. I used to come to court even alone. Nobody is going to be there with you. And then, of course, 6 months into it, I was impeached for doing the right thing. For doing the right thing. If I give you number one item where I was impeached, was because my own office as governor, the budget to refurbish it, approved budget, from my predecessor was 292 million naira, and I spent only 43 million renovating it, and the house, because they were to benefit from it, said I didn't go through the due process. And that was my number one reason for being impeached. Number two item, and that's where I was same thing. They had a budget of 481 million naira, 86 million naira to refurbish, to rebuild and refurbish the governor's lodge, which is my own lodge, where I'm supposed to live. I did everything with 81 million naira. And on these two items, I was impeached for doing the wrong thing. When I presented my case in the court, everybody was. So, if you're going through this, it is a difficult, painful thing. But it's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult. Look at what is happening today, where people stay 4 years in office and leave office, saying they will build a house for them in the capital, build a house for them in Abuja, build a house for them in their village. So if I'm governor of Anambra State, they'll build a house for me in Oka, build it in my village, build it for me in Abuja, and pay me where they change my cars every 2 years or every 3 years. So when I said to people that Anambra State have not bought me a bottle of Coke since I left, people are saying, you're crazy, you're useless, you're this. At times, even your family members are questioning, what are you doing? Are you the only human being? So it is difficult. But remember, we believe that we must change this because we're on the right course. Otherwise, we'll consume everybody. So please do not be deterred, do not be demoralized. I know you've spent your time, your energy, your resources. It is difficult, but don't go away.
All right, thank you very much, sir. I think I'm having a glitch trying to unmute my mic. So let's go on. Mr. Benjamin, you have the space, please, in a minute, please. Guys, and let's keep our questions just one, please. We have plenty of people that want to ask questions, so let's just drop one question, frame your mind for just a question and ask a question, and we can keep the conversation rolling. Thank you, Mr. Benjamin. Have the minute, please. Thank you.
Thank you, host. Your Excellency, my President-elect, Mr. Peter Obi, this is Benjamin Mayor Emedan. I want to say thank you for the opportunity to be part of this great program today. I don't have any question for you, sir. If I'm asking you questions as if I don't know what is going on in the obedient movement, I just want to come here and give you the accolade that you deserve. Do not forget, 1 year and a day, making it today, the day you left PDP, and we all followed you to Labour Party. And since that 1 year, you have given birth to children, you are giving birth to people in politics, which we normally refer to as new breed. And we hope in the nearest future, this will be part of the change, the agent of change that you have created.
And I just want you to know is that the journey that you are embarking on, you are not on it alone. We all started all this together. We are with you till the end. Do
Thank
not be
you.
afraid. Do not be afraid. Anything, anyhow, we did. You know, you didn't send letter to us to come and ask us to join you. We join your movement voluntarily because we know
Thank
that is
you.
the only way we can save this country. So
Thank you.
anybody telling us we can't do it, we can do it. We believe in you. We have thrown you up and down. We set you. There is no single of corruption traced back to you while you were in government, even as a private citizen. This is one of the most important things that we need in a politician that will become a president of a country. That's the reason why most of us who also have that part, who have that mind to say this is what we can do and beat hand on our chest. That's the reason why we are supporting you, sir. Like I said,
Thank,
I have no question. Be rest assured,
thank you.
take your
And
medication,
please,
eat your food, you are healthy.
thank you very much. But and I also plead with all of you, if there's anything you think I'm not doing right, please feel free to tell me. Know that I'm a human being. I make my own mistakes and everything. There might be things that I've done in the past or I'm doing that is not right. Please tell me. If it's something that I need to explain, I'll explain my reason for doing it and all that. All I assure people is that I will not knowingly. I'm one person who have sworn with my life and my children that I will never knowingly,
Yes, yes.
knowingly
Yes, Your Excellency.
do
We
anything
have,
that is wrong or
yes, Your
take
Excellency.
government
We,
money.
we, we have
So
it. We
for
have a sheet.
me, please don't be advising me from. We must be a family that advises each other, tell each
Yes, sir.
other when you're wrong.
Yes,
Especially, I
sir.
want to hear bad news always.
So we don't have bad news. We have what they call virulent space. There, we'll be able to criticize ourselves and correct ourselves. That is what we're doing
Thank
there,
you.
sir. So if you have done anything wrong, just like what my brother said, Jimmy, we say stop apologizing on our behalf because we have this thick skin that we put on anything that come on social media with the chest and nothing they happen. All of us they here. So anything that
Yeah.
has to do whether you are doing well, whether you are not doing well, we always have a way to communicate with you, sir. The people on
Thank you.
that virulent space will not they say because say is preferential will give me a preferential treatment. We are looking for a way to repair Nigerian. That is what you have started. You cannot go away from it, and that is what we are all doing. We tell people to the face, this is what you have done, and this is wrong, sir. So as of the moment, I can tell you categorically, you have not done anything wrong so far. You only apologize on our behalf as a father that you are. We can understand that. But there are some people that does not deserve your apology. Thank you. I rest my case, sir.
Thank you.
Saddam, real quick before you go ahead, sir, let me use this opportunity to let you know about Parallel Facts. It was born out of this movement. It is a platform that you can use it as a reference to good and factual news, the real news, because now we have different kinds of media being controlled by the MBC. They tell them to do this, to do not to do this, to say this and not to say that. And Parallel Facts is just going to be giving us the news the way it is. For example, if they say Tinubu peace for body, oh, now so it be. It won't be like, oh, the president had a water spilled on me. No, he peace for body, now so it go be. So, sir, watch out for Parallel Facts. You can follow it. It's a place you can refer to as a source of fact, good news. It is what it is. If they're not sugarcoating it, they tell you the way it is. It might come late, but it's true. Thank you so much. Back to you now, Saddam.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I've been ah, God have mercy. Thank you, sir, for joining us. I think let me just introduce my co-host, one of us that is here, N6. To bring him up here has been another tax on itself. As in to bring you up here, N6 is more difficult than bringing P2B. I don't understand whether you're also running for presidency or you ran for presidency, but you're here right now. Please let's keep the conversation rolling, guys. A question each for a minute, for 1 minute per question. Let us. We have hundreds of requests and over 4,000 questions down there in the comment section. So I don't know how you guys are going to do it, but so you're going to be here for a very long time because Obedience really want to speak with you. They want to hear you speak. Many people are banking on hearing you speak as a source of hope for them. I think I'll yield the mic right now to N6. N6, you are coming right now. Then I'll come back to our speakers. Thank you. N6, are you there? All right. I think N6 is struggling with his network still. Let's take a lady. Let's take a lady. Then I'll come back. We'll come to you, N6, if you're ready. Mombolale, you've been here for long, so we have the space in a minute, please.
Good evening, Your Excellency. Thank you
Good
for
evening, my
joining us
sister.
here. Right. So initially I was going to ask a question, but then, I know you're a man of faith. You have described your journey as being one of with the grace of God and a miracle in itself. And so I was listening out to the Holy Spirit, and it came to me that I needed to read out Psalm 91, because I know that you're not telling
Very
us all
good
you're going
Sam.
through. It is indeed. I am reading the
Very good Sam.
Amplified. I am reading the Amplified version, and it speaks to the security of the one who trusts in the Lord. It
Yes.
says, verse 1, he who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will remain secure and rest in the shadow of the Almighty, whose
My
power no enemy can withstand. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God in
and
whom I
he
trust, with confidence and on whom I rely. For he will save you from the trap of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you and completely protect you with his pinions, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness is a shield and a wall. You will not be afraid of the terror of night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that stalks in darkness, nor of the destruction, sudden death that lays waste at noon. 1,000 may fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, but danger will not come near you. You will only be a spectator as you look on with your eyes and witness the divine repayment of the wicked as you watch safely from the shelter of the Most High, because you have made the Lord, who is your refuge and my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place. No evil will befall you, sir, nor will any plague come near your tent, for he will command his angels in regards to you to protect and defend and guard you in all your ways of obedience and service. I'll say that again: to protect and defend and guard you in all your ways of obedience and service. They will lift you up in their hands so that you do
put it
not
of God.
even strike your foot against a stone. You will tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent. You will trample on the foot, because he has set his love on you. Therefore, he will save you. I will set him securely on high, because he knows my name. He will set you securely on high, sir, because he knows your name. He confidently trusts and relies on God, knowing you will never abandon him, no ever. You will call upon God and he will answer you. You will be with him in trouble. He will be with you in trouble. He will rescue you and honor you. With a long life will he satisfy you, and he will let you see his salvation. Amen. Thank you, sir. That was all I wanted to share.
Thank you, my sister. Thank you. When you said, I said a very strong psalm, and I assure you, we're all here by his grace. It is by his grace. That's why I said that those who abuse power are abusing grace of God. Whatever we are in life is by his grace. And you cannot afford to abuse his grace. And I assure you, this is our journey. We will succeed by his grace.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, sir.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you very much, sir. That was worth it. That was a wonderful prayer there. Okay, let's keep the conversation rolling. Mr. Joe Obedient, you have the space in a minute, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sam. Good day, Your Excellency. Good evening. It's an honor speaking to you. Happy 1 year anniversary in Labour Party. You have done the unthinkable, the nearly impossible. I'll be very quick. My first thing to say is, please, Excellency, I don't know if it's safe for you to do it, but please open more exposure for us, like you did with the oil test. I'm sure you have a lot of other information of things going wrong in
Open what?
Nigerian economy. more exposés like you did with the oil theft, the level of oil theft. There is a lot happening in Nigerian economy that we don't know. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I am asking that you should please help us with more exposés, informations you have about things going wrong in the economy that we, general masses, don't have access to or don't know about, or we have been ignorant about, because that was a very, it seemed very small at the beginning, but it was very deep and it exposed a lot.
No, definitely. You know, I say it every day that it's a criminalized system. You know, and that is why you see us politicians juggling and paying any amount of money for position, doing all sorts of things, killing and maiming people, doing all sorts of things to. If it is going to work, the level of aggression, the expenditure, and everything would drastically reduce. And that is why we must have a process that is transparent, because once that starts, that will be begin of building a new Nigeria that will solve this problem. All these problems we're going through. So thank you. I will continue in that direction. Now it's like I'm focused on this trial. When it's true, either way, we'll continue.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Let's take a lady right now. I will be skipping it. One guy, one lady. Next, so I'm bringing up someone that I will describe as one of your top soldiers on social media. She goes, when I mean literal war, she goes to war, defending you on her own against a whole lot of enemies that come after you. So and yesterday was her birthday, so I promised her that you're going to wish her happy birthday, and she's here up here.
Oh, you would have given me. I wish you can even send me a number and everything so that I can send it personally to her. But
Let her speak. Let her
go
speak.
on.
Probably you can wish happy birthday to her directly. Thank you, sir. Distinguished, Oluchi, you have the space. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. My name is Oluchi,
Good evening, my sister.
and I'm dialing in from the United States. I'm a big fan. I don't even know what to say right now. Like, I'm so excited talking to you. I've been telling everyone on the timeline, like, I'm definitely gonna pass out if I say hello to you. But it's such an honor being here talking to you, and I've never had to speak to
Thank you.
any leader in Nigeria. You don't understand what you're doing for us right now. We love you, Peter Obi, and we're solidly behind you. Wherever you
Thank
go,
you, my
whatever
sister.
you want, whatever it is, just let us know. We love you. Now, I just have one question, and this is concerning the incident that happened at the UK airport. I have been worried about that incident, especially the fact that it happened after Festus Keyamo said that they're going to match Labour Party propaganda to propaganda, and then suddenly we had the news that someone cloned your identity. So my question is, how are you handling that incident, and how would you prevent that from happening? Is the UK government cooperating with you to make sure that this does not repeat? Is there someone in custody? Is there any form of case going on? I'm just so curious about this, sir.
Let me, on behalf of the obedient family, most sincerely congratulate you on your birthday. I know it was yesterday, but we're still on the even month. So our sincere congratulations. May God Almighty, who have been with you, bless you all this while, grant you many more healthy, fruitful, and happy
Thank you,
years,
sir.
and continue to bless you
Thank you.
always.
Thank you, sir. It means a lot to me. Thank you.
For what happens, my sister was very surprising to me. I've been to the UK this year at least 4 times. When I went to Chatham House, when I was invited by the UK government, when went to America, because before the elections, I was invited at the State House and tasting. So I always pass through the UK. So it was a surprising thing to me to appear before. I've lived there, of course, for years. Still own a property there because that's where I lived before I became governor. And for me to appear at the airport and you were asked to sit down, I was surprised. But all this happened within a few minutes. I must say that I was happy it happened. Because there's so many dramas that happened in that trip that I can't tell because we are conversation in the phone, but I can tell you a very shocking thing when somebody now appears and shows you that your identity is duplicated. My first reaction is to say, well, it means nothing until I was referred to an expert on identity duplication who shocked me. My initial reaction is, this is nonsense. It doesn't mean anything to me. But when I told a colleague and a friend of mine in the UK, he said, I'm going to refer you to identity duplication experts. And I went to see, after an hour, 20 minutes meeting, I came out shocked. Because I used to travel. Of course, first he told me, he said, Peter, listen, this is what, I don't want to call it, call some countries that use it to track people. He said, Peter, you could be implicated for set up a rape. Because it's simple, you book a hotel, they book it the same hotel. They have their own gang who comes in there. You're in that hotel, set you up. At night, somebody says, oh, you did this, you did this. And they call police. In the UK, everywhere in the Western world, this is a serious case that you can't get a bail for. It could be implicated in murder because it's your duplicate. And because it's your identity, you checked into the same hotel. They use it to check into the same hotel. Same thing goes if they are checking any luggage. The same thing, it went on and on and on, but thank God, nothing happened. Managing it, I've been to the UK since then, and while they too are investigating, we hope. When I arrived after that, I was asked what went wrong. I explained to them. Well, they found out it's duplicated. They said they are looking into it. That's all I can say for now. I'm also very careful, extremely careful. I'm managing it. I'm hoping nothing goes wrong. But it all started from here. That's all I can tell you. It's something that started from Nigeria. And I'm being careful about it.
Thank you very much, sir. It's insane what you've been through in the course of this movement. And I for myself, I tell a whole lot of people that ask me and that get so agitated. Probably they say with your response, that you're calm and everything. And I'm like, you guys have to really understand that this man himself is passing through a whole lot himself. And with the grace you used to take all what you're passing through, it's something that's worth emulating. So thank you very much for that, sir. Please just make sure that you're always picking up, because one thing I want to assure you here is that you have the people. Do not forget, that's what you should understand. You do not ever have something and you keep quiet. You have the people behind you, strictly behind you. So please always speak out. The people, the office of the citizens are ready to always stand up for you. Please, where you feel you have to speak up, speak up. Thank you very much, sir.
I will. I'm sure it will even get worse as we
Yeah,
go forward.
I will be here to fight for you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me bring in my co-host. N6 have been here for the longest. So N6, I don't know if your audio is good now.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good evening, sir. I
Good
might
evening.
start this. I might start asking you questions from the most basic angles, because I really want us to start somewhere and head somewhere, so that way we don't discuss tribunal in one question, then the next question we're discussing something totally different. Please, sir. Currently, the president-select of INEC, we cannot even verify his real name. So I might ask you one of the funniest questions, but please, let's start at the very beginning. Excuse me, sir. What is your name? Where are you from? Who is your father? How many siblings did your father give birth to? How many children do you have? Who is your wife? Just basic standard information that currently, as we speak, we cannot even swear that the person in Aso Rock can give this information accurately. So let's just start at the most basic. Who is Peter Obi from beginning? Introduce yourself to us, sir, like
Well,
we've never
very,
met.
very simple. My name is Peter Gregory. I have a what I can call a local name, which I deliberately, people will always ask me why, even my own children, Dad, why did you leave this off? And I said to them, I don't know why my father gave me that name. Because, Peter, they say, is rock. Then my father gave me an Igbo name that says, Ongu Base. What it means that you can't die. So I said, what a combination. So let me remove this, because I must die one day. Why should you say you can't die? So that's another aside, but it's there. But that is Peter Gregory Obi. I was born in July 19th, 1961. So I was born after the independence. I always
And we
say
can go and
that
verify
for the,
this.
yeah, but of course,
God bless you,
of
sir.
course,
Continue.
if there's any mistake, it's from my mother,
In which
not
hospital?
from me.
In which
Eh?
hospital? The
I was
hospital.
born in Waterside Hospital in Onitsha. Everybody knows Waterside Hospital in Onitsha, where I was born. And I started my primary school in Holy Trinity Primary School, went to Santa Maria in Onitsha, and then went to St. Augustine, Umuabanam. I was in 3 primary schools. The reason being that I had an auntie who was teaching, and my auntie is fond of me. So wherever she's transferred, she wants to go with me. And of course, I was born in a family of 10. My mother had 10 children, 10 of us. So we're quite a number. My parents lived in Onitsha. If you live in a town called Onitsha, everybody knows the supermarket they call Aldil So Supermarket. 75 New Market Road. That's my father's business, the oldest supermarket I'll call it store in Onitsha, where my father used to trade in the 60s. Everybody knows him. That building is still there. It's where they have 75 New Market Road. They have now Mr. Biggs there, because of course, he's in years, of course. My mother is the baker and the trader. So I went to these primary schools that I mentioned. I went to Christ the King College. Anybody who went to CKC in Onitsha knows me very well, because I passed where I was deputy discipline prefect before I left school, played for the junior football, at least in 1 or 2 matches. So I'm well known in the CKC. From there, I went to University of Nigeria, Nsukka, from 1980 to 84. There's nobody who passed through Nsukka who will tell you he doesn't know. I'm not saying that, I'm not claiming that everybody knows me, but most people know me, because everybody knows who I was as a student, University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Since then, so if you go there, they will tell you where. In fact, the current Vice Chancellor is my mate. We came in the same time, left the same time. The current DVC, the two deputy vice chancellors are all my mates. We came in the same year and left the same year. If you ask any of them, they will tell you, we are all the same family. Since then, I've been to other institutions for training, maybe a few months and everything, some of which I'm an alumnus of, like Cambridge, Oxford. I'm a Kellogg scholar because I've done about 4 or 5 programs in Kellogg Graduate School. So when you do more than 3 seminars, you become a scholar. So I'm a Kellogg scholar. I've been to other ones which are not ones like Harvard, Columbia. I'm a London School of Economics. I'm an alumnus of IMD in Switzerland, Institute of Management Development in Switzerland. I've been to INSEAD in France. So these are institutions, and they're all recorded. If you go there, if you say, oh, has this man passed? If you look at my CV, you see what the training or seminar went there. It's recorded. You can go and verify them, all that. And of course, basically, I'm a trader. Started my trading life in Onitsha. And if you come to Onitsha, I still live in Onitsha. I'm speaking from you from Onitsha. Everybody knows it's the only place I can live in Nigeria. It's the only place I own a house that is my own. Built, bought land, built it in my own and live there and everything. And that's where I'm speaking to you from now. If you come to Onitsha, I tell people you're looking for P2P, they will tell you. Started my business, went into the corporate world where I sat in different companies as director. At a particular time, I was the youngest direct chairman of a bank in Nigeria. And I think it's still the same case. I was chairman of a bank at 38, 39, Fidelity Bank. At that time, I was also a director in 2 other banks, Guardian Express Bank. I was a director in about 8 companies, out of which about 6 of them are quoted. I've been the chairman of Security and Exchange Commission. And of course, I was governor of Anambra State for 8 years, where I can tell anybody, while I was governor, my commitment was on issue that has to do with development of a society, education, health, and pulling people out of poverty per capita. In education, you can go and verify, Anambra was #1. In health, you can go and verify. In pulling people out of poverty, you can go and ask Mr. Bakol or Samsudin, that was Minister of Finance then, ask them who is #1 in fighting poverty while we were there. Overall, we won the MDG, Millennium Development Goal, as the best performing state in Federal Republic of Nigeria. That started in the year 2000 and ended in year 2015. I became governor in 2006, was impeached, came back in 2007. We started in 2008, but by the time it was concluded in 2015, Anambra was #1. I was even chosen by federal government of Nigeria and the United Nations office in Nigeria to speak at the UN gathering to say our experience. I left in 2014, and I've always said consistently, the day I left office, I did not owe salary to anybody, pension, gratuity, all that were being owed before I came into office, gratuity and pension, especially at local government level, totaling over 35 billion were cleared. I did not owe one contractor, one supplier, and this you can go and verify. And I had in 3 banks, Fidelity Bank, we had 12 billion naira left, $50 million. Access Bank of Nigeria, 12 billion naira, $50 million. Diamond Bank of Nigeria, Diamond Bank, $50 million, 12 billion naira. The 3 MDs are still living, the banks are still there, and I can show you the statements and everything. And since I left, there's no severance, no pension, nothing to me as a governor. I have never earned Anambra have never bought me a bottle of Coke. This is my 10th year of living office. Because I refused to sign the Anambra Governor's Pension Law. Because I think it is wrong that somebody will stay 4 years, 8 years, and be paid 200 times what people who have spent their lifetime of 35 years cannot earn in their lifetime. Even when you've had the best, as governor, you're managing the resources of the state. So if you want to steal, you can steal as all those monies I'm saying are left, could have actually have been, I could have stolen all of them and even borrow more. Could have taken it away. Nobody asked me. I remember my late senior sister, Dora Akunyel, will always ask me, Peter, why are you putting money in dollar? I said, well, listen, I'm just hedging. Now what I did is that I divided the money into 3, 1 in Naira, then 1 I'm using to buy shares, the other I'm keeping in foreign currency, just in case. They said, so why are you doing that? I said, well, listen, Auntie, every system saves. That is what I was brought up and taught in everywhere I've been. You must save for tomorrow. Because this money we are sharing and eating is not only for this generation, it's meant for also for future generation. This oil we are sharing from is a diminishing assets. One day it must finish. So we must save for tomorrow. So there's no
sorry, sir. I listen to everything you say. And my major question remains, a nation that owes 77 trillion naira, about, double-digit unemployment rates, even look at how the election ran. Why are you interested in leading Nigeria? Just in 1 minute, why are you, with all this stress, sir, I would have packed my bags and gone to London and taken a holiday. Why are you disinterested in helping Nigeria?
Well, for me, it is, thank you very much for that question. Because you know that what is happening can change. You know you can change. You know it can be better. Where will you want to see a situation that can be better? And you will not want it to be better. Because you can sacrifice for it and make it better. Because let me use the instance of what we're going through today. Especially, I was speaking to somebody. I was in Kaduna. I'm sure you must have seen it in the news just yesterday. I was in Kaduna. And I said somebody whom I argued for about 2015, 2016, when Buhari was coming into office. And he was telling me that as a military person, he's going to fight the insecurity. And I said to him, listen, you don't fight insecurity by might, by power, by using guns and everything and all that. Yes, you do that, but you have what you can call fighting insecurity in what I can call natural way. So we met again, and I said, are we more secured now? So he gave me a excuse. This time I said, let me tell you. The first method of fighting insecurity is by ensuring that you pull people out of poverty. The more you pull people out of poverty, the more you fight insecurity. It is when you've done that that you'll be able to deal with the issue of those you can call criminals. But today, the system has been criminalized because people have stolen the public wealth instead of investing it in critical areas of development like education, where you now have almost 20 million people, 20 million out of school children, where you have so many people who are supposed to be educated who have not had the benefit of passing through a school, where you have 130-something million people living in poverty, and you say you want to fight security by shooting them or by putting police on. No, you need to start pulling them out. So when you think you can do something, why do you have to stay away from doing it? I'm sure you have read what WHO said. Yes, World Food Organization, WFO, said about Nigeria that there will be hunger in Nigeria this year. And even went to say that the state where we're going to have the highest hunger is going to be Borno State, Yobe, and Adamawa. And like I keep telling people, how can we have a state like Yobe that is 70.9 thousand square kilometers of land? Yobe, 45.5, and Adamawa, 36 point something. These three states alone, just three of them combined, is over 150,000 square kilometers of land. That is 3 times the size of Israel. Sorry, over 7 times. That's over 7 times the size of Israel. It's over 7 times. Israel at 22.1. So 7 times should be about that size. Yet Israel can feed themselves, export some agricultural goods, though they import some because they want some variety. But these states can't feed themselves. They had been declared a hunger zone. What is the vast land doing? So if you see opportunity that you can solve this, if you see opportunity that the vast land in the north can actually earn more money than oil, most of you are calling from, are joining us from United States, and you know that today, the #1 state in terms of GDP in America is California. What is propelling California? Is agriculture knowledge. And this is what we can provide here easily, and that is why I want to get involved. I want to get involved. I want to be part of changing this narrative. I want to be part of changing this negative situation of Nigeria. And that's why I keep saying, for me, the expression is to see Nigeria work. I'm sorry I took more than 1
No,
minute.
that's
You
fine.
allowed me
That's fine.
even
Thank
10
you for your
minutes,
reply, sir.
but I have to do that because we can't wait. Anambra, for example, that I came and did a little work, we were number 26 and 27 in WAEC and NECO, and we became number 1.
Is it just me?
No, not just you. I think it's just a network fluctuation or
And
probably a call. We'll give him about a few minutes.
so you can change it. And I know with people like you, we can change it.
Thank you very much, sir. There's a question I want to go into that it's perplexing a lot of Nigerians. There is a Pandora's box that was opened in this election, the Pandora's box of tribal hatred and tribalism. It's worrisome at this point. I dare say, because we have a lot of it's online, we more or less had an e-civil war than it being physical. Please, sir, what would you suggest for frayed nerves, especially with what happened with tribalism, anti-Igbo sentiments to around this election period? How do we start to heal as a people, considering who is in Asu Rock now is not somebody we believe in? So how do we heal as a people outside of governance, considering this Pandora's box of tribalism in particular, although there was some religious and bigoted coloration to it? How do we heal this tribal Pandora's box? What
You
ideas
know,
do you have?
I'm one of those, I've always said it, and I said it throughout my campaign. The truth is that we don't have a tribalism and this religious thing people are imputing. It is strictly concussion of the political elite, the criminal elite, to continue in poverty. I've challenged anybody to show me where Muslims buy bread cheaper. I've challenged anybody to show me where Northerners buy bread cheaper. There's more poverty in the north than there is in the south. So it's not a tribal issue. And I've said to anybody who cares to know, if I'm president today, I'll be celebrated in the north. It's not a religious issue. I've not seen where Muslims buy bread cheaper, or there's a road town that the Muslims pass through. I've not seen where Christians buy bread cheaper or anything, or there's a hospital built specially for Christians. When Nigerians are sick, Christian, Muslim, they go to Dubai, they go to Egypt, they go to England. And I, for one, I've said it, I was governor for here for 8 years. 8 years. My ADC is from Kanu, and he remains the best policeman I've ever met in my life. We're close today and everything. I'm not somebody who usually, I'm not somebody who goes to hospital very often. But once in the UK, I was told that I need to go through a minor procedure. The procedure was conducted by Dr. Ayo, who is from Ondo. We remain friends till today. Whenever I'm in the UK, and Ayo will discuss about Nigeria, about everything. I have a lot of Yoruba friends, very close, whom I talk with every day. We do business together and everything. I've done businesses in Lagos. I've done businesses in the North. I used to have office in Kanu, Meduguri, and Kaduna. And I said it just yesterday, that if we want the country to work, we must resuscitate the industries that have collapsed in Kanu Bompai, Sharadan 1, Sharadan 2, Kaduna today, Bangladesh exports more clothing, which is just textile, than we earn from oil. What are we doing from Kaduna? All the textile industries have collapsed. At the time, they're doing everything. So these are things that are not going to be tribal issue. We have so many shoemakers in Aba and everything. Vietnam exports if almost about or more than we earn from oil in footwear. So why are we wasting everybody's time by not doing the right things? I'm talking about tribalism and everything. We're borrowing money, throwing it away. Nobody can account for borrowed money. Today, they will tell you this is swallowed by a snake. So the next day, it's cat who took some. And what type of country is that? We want to see every other country in the world is borrowing money. America today owns more than 100% of its GDP as debts. Japan is owing 200 and something percent. But you can see what they use it for. In our own case, nobody can tell you what is happening. It's becoming a total joke. So that's what you see people who are elected living a life of stars, living a life of affluence, when those who elected them are dying. That's not what we're asking for. We're not asking for more than that.
Thank
Let's
you
just
very
do
much,
things that are
Excellency.
proper. That's it.
Thank you very much, Excellency. For my next question, I'm going to bring up Nigerian women. But please listen to my argument. When the current administration of Muhammadu Buhari was coming into power, they promised Nigerian women 40% of appointments on record. When they came into power, they only picked about 6 or 7 women as ministers. One of those women, Kemi Adeosun, had an issue with her certification. She was taken away from the position, and she wasn't replaced till much later on with a woman. That administration has bordered at about below 10 women in government in ministerial positions. But when you see this obedient movement, Nigerian women, sir, came out with their chest to support you. If you could tell Nigerian women, the first thing, encourage them and thank them for supporting you this election, and make them promises when you become president, whenever all of this is sorted out, what would you say to the Nigerian women who believed in you from working and then moving forward with you at the helm of affairs?
You know, I've talked about women issue a lot, and my own thing is okay. Let me join you and saying very big thank you to the Nigerian women, my very dear mothers, sisters. I can tell you, in Nigeria, from my own experience, women are more productive, more honest, more trustworthy than the men. I was chairman of a bank. I succeeded because I had a treasurer, a risk officer. It was fantastic because they're less corrupt. As governor, my chief of staff, commissioner for finance, head of service, commissioner for education, all the areas where I did well, I can tell you are women. I believe in them. If I believe that not bringing them on board is a major part of where we are not productive and even more corrupt. So it's something we need to deal with. But knowing how things are here, We need to back it up with law. That's why I keep saying it must not go on without being backed by law. If we're going to say they will have 30% or 40%, let's legislate about it and ensure that it's going to work. I've studied what is happening in Bangladesh. If you go to Bangladesh today, because they have something that is backed by a rule of law, that's why they have a prime minister today that is a woman, opposition leader that is a woman. Their number one export is clothing. That industry is 60% occupied by women, in terms of employment. And I was in the villages and saw what they could do. So I assure you that I'm not going to make fake promises. I know what is happening. When I came to Anambra State, I kept telling them, I can't do all this and come and fail. It will be, people didn't vote for me on the 25th of February. They didn't vote for Peter Obi. They entrusted their hope on me. And you can't dash their hope. It was like going to a bank to credit their money, hoping to withdraw it at an appropriate time. It's not because, they know they're not going to get anything from me other than just keeping to my promise. And I would have done that. I had people like, so many of them sacrificing and following me around and everything. It was, there's no way I would have done a lot, including ensuring that Nigerian women are brought into governance, ensure they are placed in corporate world, because not just in government, and pay emphasis to education of women, young girls in the North.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I think we have a couple of questions from the comment section. So we'll be engaging that way. Allow comment questions from our people down there. They really want to talk to you, but we have close to over 35,000 people listening to you now. So in case you don't know, that's
I have people on Zoom.
Yeah, people
And
on Zoom.
they're telling me that I've abandoned them and went on this Twitter.
Let them stay abandoned. Let them stay abandoned. You have done so many Zoom meetings in the course of your campaign. You've never had this space with us on Twitter.
I was actually with them until people said no. When I was struggling with you, I was answering them, but now they feel very abandoned. I'm waiting.
Let them stay abandoned, sir. For the moment, we have tried having you on this Twitter space for a very long period of time. All through the elections, we couldn't. So I think I'll just rush out down to our
I'm not hearing you again. What is happening?
Can you hear me, sir?
Can you hear me, sir? Hello, sir. Can you hear my voice, sir? Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir, I can hear you, but they said I should abandon you people. Yes, I can.
Tell them that he's the president of 200 million Nigerians. They would have to be able to share him, please. He's now public property.
They said I should leave you people alone till next time.
Yes.
So I agree. So let me and these Twitter people continue.
Thank you, sir. Sir, can you hear me now?
You are 35,000 on this platform alone, madam.
It's still a conversation that it's happening. It's a conversation for two of us. Both of us are going on together. So I'm listening to the questions.
All right, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, let's take the next speaker. Let me bring in Savik now. Savik, you can ask your question in a minute. Then we'll take our ladies drop off. So let's take Savik in a minute. Mr. Babatunde, you come after Savik. And Savik, you have a minute, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, Saddam. If we can work on the timing, one question per person. We have a lot of people. So, Savik.
Thank you very much, His Excellency, for giving us this opportunity to interact with you. One of the things you said during the campaign, which actually galvanized a lot of us, is that you told the corrupt establishment if they can find just one corrupt case where you stole money, that you will abandon your campaign.
The recording in progress. Technical hitch that we've had, we've not been able to have.
Yes, I'm listening to you.
Can you hear me?
I'm
Okay,
hearing
sir.
you.
So we are getting an interference from your others from the Zoom meeting. I don't know if you could.
Okay, don't worry. I'm going to ask them now. Continue,
Okay,
just
so
continue.
one of the things that you said that captivated a lot of us is that you dared the establishment, the corrupt establishment, and you told them if they can find out one thing, one corrupt case against you, that you are going to abandon your campaign. And up to this moment, even as we are talking right now, they've not been able to come out with one single thing to actually indict you with. And because of that, what they have actually embarked on is actually going around with misinformation, propaganda, and a lot of going after your personality to see how they can actually go after you. And this is not really a question. What I'm asking is that with all this barrage of misinformation, barrage of propaganda, barrage of going after your person, are trying to make sure that they degrade you, you've actually kept the energy level even far better than what we saw during the campaign. We've seen you engaging with Nigerians. We've seen you engaging, talking to a lot of people, trying to motivate people, even engaging with the so-called politicians that were actually against you during the campaign. So I want you to talk to us. What exactly, is the brain behind, this kind of, mercy and this kind of grace that you have? Because for me, someone like me, I would have broken down by now, but we see you standing every day and still talking to the issues that are actually affecting Nigerians. Tell us what is actually behind the grace that you have, sir. Thank you.
My brother, is very simple. If you live in a system, I said it before, where you can see in pain and everything, people going around trying to live a life where life can be better. I met a mother who told me an interesting story. He had a daughter who was sick. The daughter is sick. She's not working. The daughter is in hospital. They had the daughter 17,000 naira. He cannot afford 17,000 naira. So she's prepared to sleep with somebody if the person can give her 20,000. So she's prepared, but was lucky to meet a foundation being run by a good Samaritan, a good Nigerian, who listened to her story. Instead of sleeping with her, was able to pay her 20,000 and decided to pay the daughter's school fees through a university. These stories abound in Nigeria every day because people are jobless. People are not doing anything. And you can help. Why can't you help? That is the energy. That is why I go around in schools. I go around everywhere doing that. That's why I go around doing that and going everywhere. So, my dear, it's a difficult thing, but it's something you can't do without. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go on. All right.
So the challenge, this poverty you're seeing in Nigeria, can be reversed. This underdevelopment you're seeing in Nigeria can be reversed. It's something I've experimented in a private sector, in a public sector as a governor. If you know what Anambra used to be before my predecessor came on board, followed by me, until today, it is far worse. I know we have one or two challenges now, which I know the new governor is grappling with and trying to deal with head on in terms of insecurity. But I assure you, it used to be far worse than it is today. It used to be far worse. We started changing it and everything. So it can be changed. There's a time young boys don't go to school here any longer. All the schools were girls. The schools were dilapidated. The schools were not anything to. But we can change it, and the story is all on the positive side till today. So it can be the same thing can happen nationally. It is something the country can be changed. It used to be a beautiful country where people had hope, had everything. So I know it can be still be changed.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Let's take a lady. We have had guys speaking and asking you questions, so we'll take a lady right now. Me, I think me is someone you know already, but me, let me allow you come in the next 1 minute. Thank you.
Hello?
Is she there?
Me, are you there? Well,
Let me
let's take you
ask
back.
her. Hello, sir. I want to ask one question again. There is something that these elections exposed to Nigerians. Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me, Excellence?
I can hear you.
There is something this election exposed to us as Nigerians. It exposed the amount of illiterate people that are in this country. I don't mean the amount of people that went to school. I don't mean the amount of people that are quote-unquote educated. I mean the amount of illiterate people in this country. One of my biggest fears is these people seem to have been given the realms of power. We've seen what happened in the last administration when you put square pegs in circular holes. If there is any governor in this country that can beat his chest and say, I took education in my state from 26 or lower 20s, almost 30 to number one, it is you. Please, sir, what do you have planned for education in Nigeria? From bottom all the way up, possibly to adult education, because I even feel some of our adults are not yet lost. There is problem with cognitive dissonance. There is problem with drawing parallels, especially when explaining issues. Some people have a problem with being given facts and figures right in front of them, and they cannot assimilate this intelligently. What are your plans for education in Nigeria on all levels and for all facets of Nigeria, sir?
Okay, let me help you. Let me tell you first. You must understand that there's the only three things that differentiates developed and underdeveloped nations. It is not too many things. It's just about three major issues. Number one is education. It's been proved that more a society is educated, the better the development. Because all the foundations which you talk that develop the society, science is about education, technology, all this is about education. Whatever, when you talk about STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, it's all about education. If you're going to construct big and better buildings, it's about education. you're going to talk about infrastructure, it's about education. So the foundation of development is education. The other one is health. You must talk about people's health. When people are healthy, it contributes to their productivity. It makes them contribute more. And you talk about pulling people out of poverty, which is per capita. So education is critical. The only reason why Asian countries did better than African countries is that they invested in education. It's not in China, Vietnam, all these countries did that. The level of education is better. And that can be seen, very simple. If you go and compare all these countries with Nigeria, say in the 80s and 90s, they all have the same level of human development. The foundation, so number one, education, number two, education, number three, education. Unless people are educated, so if you're talking about infrastructure, the number one infrastructure you need to develop a society is human infrastructure, because that's what will make them develop the rights, character, values, attitude, and everything. Somebody talked about the issue of empowering those, or what you mentioned earlier about seeing the literacy in Nigeria. What you see that happened, what's happening in Nigeria is that it's a case of where, very sorry, I always use very often, and people don't understand it when I use it. It's a case of where lunatics took over the asylum. So those who are not supposed to be role models, who are not supposed to be part of society, have become role models. So it's easier for me to now move around, and it's like that in every part of Nigeria, not just in one place. You know, so you see somebody without a daytime job, driving around with several vehicles. It is the only place where you elect somebody like me, is a governor, suddenly moves from not owning a house to owning several houses, owning several cars, even possibly flying around in private jets and everything, and I've been celebrated because the system has been criminalized, and you must ensure that you reverse that situation. If that society will develop, because what did he do? Such which is around corruption, kills entrepreneurship, it kills professionalism, it kills hard work. And that's what we are faced today. And it's like the election now becomes, government, because it's now a criminal enterprise, becomes a place for gangsters. And you know when gangsters do anything, once they capture it, so it is about state capture for personal benefit. So the gangsters capture it, they don't care. And everybody is jumping to it. You know, you become the odd man out. That's why I said to the obedience, let's peacefully, in organized manner, going through the law, remaining law-abiding, be able to deal with this situation by just quietly, respectfully, be able to start changing it. And the only way you can do that is to start telling people by changing their perception and conception of life. We need to work on their mind. We need to work on what they think is the values, work on their character, work on their behaviors, and say, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong, this is right. We're not going to change it by force. We're not going to change it by quarreling. We're not going to change because this is their, in fact, we go that way, we're actually going to their own space.
All right, thank you very much, sir. I think let's bring in a lady now. Kibati, can you hear me, please? You have the space in a minute, please. Thank you.
Hi, Sadam. Good evening. Good evening, Your Excellency. Wow. Oh boy, I'm blushing. I finally get to speak to Peter Obi. Good evening, sir. Boy, oh boy, I've got so many questions for you, and I don't want to get beaten by Saddam, so I'm going to try to keep it brief, as brief as possible. Um, Everyone on this space, obedience generally will tell you that we've been through the ringer. I do not know how you cope. I don't know how you've managed the last couple of months. But it's been hell. It's just been hell
Well, for me,
navigating.
there's nothing, it's something we need to be part of. There's nothing, in life of struggling. Coincidentally, I don't think I've gotten anything easy in my life. It's been struggle, pain, and difficulty, especially where you think people are doing the wrong thing. And I lived in a system where things are totally wrong. So people like you, those poor people you're looking at their faces, are giving you the courage. I used to tell people, I visit schools. At least, I visit one school at least a month. I recall going to a school in Kogi, in a village in Kogi, and I found young people naked, almost coming to school, under a building without a roof and everything. And I see how excited these children are. See me, they don't know who I am, but they've just been told that I'm coming to roof their school. And I was almost going to faint because they all jumped on me. I found myself in the floor and they were all on top of me, excited that I'm just going to roof their school. And it was going to cost me just about a 1.2 million naira. And this money, ordinarily, I could easily spend on a dinner with friends in Lagos. And look at what it's doing to these children. So for me, that is where I get my energy from. We must
Wow.
change here. We must make it better.
Okay, so let me quickly ask you my questions. I will try to keep it brief, like I said. Like I said, it's been very difficult. The first question is this. Everywhere I look, my DMs are full of obedience I've been chatting with for the last 7, 8 months, who were very optimistic before the election. But I sense a general feeling of doom and gloom right now. There's lots of people who are giving up, who are not happy with everything that's happened. And then there are people of the opinion that once this inauguration happens tomorrow, it is all over. Our struggle is dead. I've had very serious conversations with obedience who are of this very firm opinion that when this INEC president elect is sworn in tomorrow, that is the end of the movement. That there's no justice can be gotten if this happens. I would love for you to address that. That's number one. Number two, this
No,
movement.
one, my sister, one, I beg.
I promise you, this is going to be very brief, very brief, very brief, very brief. I promise you, I swear, very brief. So, second question, there's a lot of energy in the movement, right? Over the last like a year or so, lots of young people became very active politically, but thanks to this movement. However, this is a marathon, not a sprint. I believe that it goes even beyond your president. I'm sorry, your campaign, your run, right? Young people want to be active. However, they're looking for a vehicle to do this, and obviously, the most apparent, the most obvious vehicle is the Labour Party. But if you look at what's been happening in Labour Party recently, there's been way too much confusion, leadership crisis, and some people not happy with some of the candidates emerging from the party, etc., etc., etc. What can be done? How I would like for you to address obedience because we all want to register with Labour
Okay.
Party. We want to be active, right?
Okay.
What can be
Let
done
me
to sanitize the Labour Party and encourage young people to join in and be active?
fantastic. Fantastic. let me tell you two things. Let me start with the issue of inauguration, and it is over. When you bring a change, you have for enemy all those who live off the old order. What we've done in the past 1 year is not the ending of our movement. It is not beginning of the last chapter of it. It is the ending of the beginning. We've just started the journey. And I assure you that what is going to happen tomorrow will actually strengthen me in this journey, not dampen me. The reason being, I didn't start it and thinking it's going to be over in 1 day, in 1 month, or in 1 year. No society has had that about change. And ours won't be different. It will make us stronger. And let nobody make you believe that because of 1 or 2 promise or this and that, it's going to change. Of course, people, because of the way they believed and faint-hearted, will move on. After all, and those who came into it transactionally will move on. For me, it is not a transactional thing. It is not a business. It is about transformation. And that takes time. So I will be in it, and I urge you to stay in it for the future and a better society. It is not going to be easy. I plead that you stay on it. In Labour, listen to the interview about the man who is claiming to be chairman, Apapa. They said, was there any issue in Labour Party before the election? He said, no. The issue started after the election. Why? All they did was they came on board to be able to see if they can withdraw the case from the court. But they didn't know that I was faster than them. That court case is between my name, is my name. Labour Party can withdraw from the case and P2B will continue. Again, the movement which we are doing as a family is not Labour Party. Labour Party remains our vehicle, and I can tell that vehicle is intact. There's nothing wrong with it. If you go to INEC, the chairman of Labour Party is Julius Abure. And so are the other officers. And Labour Party was formed by NLC, Nigerian Labour Congress, and TUC, Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. And these two bodies have come out and said there's no other, they don't know any other person except this person. People have been given money to do a job or acts, and they must do that job.
We are losing you, sir.
Yeah? Hello?
Okay, can go on, sir.
It's some people come out and say, P2B have ordered people to kill him. P2B have... Kill you for what? I have never knowingly asked anybody to slap anybody. In my 8 years of being in office, I've never one day asked a policeman to detain one person. I've not done anything like that, and I'll never do it. It is not possible. So, when you now see people trying to create a scene, I say there's a crisis. That crisis is a crisis of confusion. Because they've seen that if we take time, we get a gathering of the candidates. That's how it will start. You know, this is normal. When you start something good, even those who are not supposed to be part of it will rush into it. With time, with all of you coming into it, we'll be able to stabilize it and everything. In my previous party, APGA, we had the same experience. When I became governor, I started quarreling with everybody. I tell people every day that I used to go to Abuja and meet president who said me, Peter, nobody's happy with you. There's nothing that is making people not to be happy with me, except that I've stopped that public money should be used for public good. And that's it. So we're going to have the same problem with time. So be rest assured, all this we're going through internally as a party, we will overcome. Two, all those bad candidates you think will on their own find out that this is not a transnational entity, so they will go away. If we all stay on, and if we all stay on, we will one day overcome the criminality of the Nigerian state.
Hello, sir. I want to ask another question. In this election, we achieved something very monumental. We managed to get 38 House of Reps. We managed to get 8 senators. And we ended up with 1 governor in Abia State, 1 case in contention in Enugu, and also I want to believe a case in contention for Lagos. With this election, we put some people in power that are actually greenhorns to governance. We can admit that on a factual scale. Do you have any mechanism, any plans to help us hold these people as well to account? It's there. Do you have forums? Will there be meetings? So that even the few people that Labour Party managed to put into offices, these 8 senators and these 38 House of Reps, can be so outstanding in how they put out their duties. Because if you admit that this is a marathon and not a sprint, the way they put out their duties can be so outstanding that it buys more people into the Labour Party and obedient ideology. So I ask, what is your plan, your mechanism to hold the people that even within INEC's shabby election, we managed to win and put into power so that they can do a good job and further serve as ambassadors for this movement? What are your plans, sir?
I agree with you. What your suggestion, I call it a suggestion, is what we will try to do. Is what we will try to do. I won't say to you, we will try to do this. What you're saying now is what we'll try to do. I know that the Electorate will try to work hard. That I can tell you. Reason being, Electorate was managing director of Diamond Bank. When I left, $50 million and 12 billion naira there. He has written about it. Go and look at his article on managing state resources. If you have it, I'll send it to you. What he said he didn't know he was going to be governor. He was talking about how I manage state resources, how we used to talk, how he would tell me this. I said, no. It is public money. We have to do it and make sure that they will save it, do this. He even came, he even came when I handed over. I invited the 3 bank MDs. I handed over publicly. I invited the 3 of them and ensured that everybody in an open hall, everybody listened to the amount I left with the banks. I will call the amount and I will call the bank MD and say, we have this money with you. I want you to tell Anambra people. So from that lesson, I don't see how he can afford to go wrong. That's what I think.
Thank you very much for this answer, sir. My next question has to do with your vice, a man that we have come to love as much as we love you, Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed. When this election started, we were introduced to the concept of the placeholder, when you had to use Doyin Okupe as your placeholder while we search for a more balanced candidate. This question, just briefly, make us fall in love with Dati all over again. How did you meet him? How did you find him worthy of being your vice presidential candidate? How is he doing? We've not heard from him in a while. And
No, he's there. He's got, you see him in Abia tomorrow at the inauguration of Lexoti. He will be there.
Fantastic. So how did you know him? How long have you known him? Who introduced him to you? Let's fall in love with Yusuf Dati all over again. So please break it down for us.
I would say we've known each other for a long time, but we've known each other for long enough to know. What was more interesting for me when I was looking for somebody to work with in the North, I wanted somebody who will be exposed and understand development the way I do. I understand that the engine of development is education. And for him to have invested in building a university, and now 2 of them, I believe that he understands. And somebody who understands that the issue of the problem in the North is not caused by anybody, but by the system not investing in the people in the North. And he understands that how much. And I can tell you, it's been wonderful. 2 of us were in Kaduna yesterday. If you look at my tweet and everything, he just came back on Friday. He's in a way, a bit, how do I say it? He's going to see his family, look at his business and everything, and probably not a bit even demoralized by the entire system, but he's a he's a first-class person when it comes to issue of believing that society can be better.
Okay, so let's take back. We have questions on the comment section. We'll ask you few right now. Please, guys, before then, I just want to tell you guys that this space is brought to you guys courtesy of Parallel Facts. It's a new media organization out there. So you can follow Parallel Facts on Twitter, on Facebook, Instagram, Telegram. You can subscribe on our YouTube channel also. Okay, so let me just bring in a lady right now. We and me as one of our strong voices, a young lady that has done a whole lot for you in this movement. So I think I'll allow her come in right now. Wait, hear me? Can you hear me? If you can, please, you have the space in a minute, please.
Yes, I can hear you. Saddam, can you hear me? If you can hear me, just flash an emoji. Okay, cool. I don't necessarily have a question, but there's just something that I want to tell PO and everyone listening on the space. So when the space started, PO said something. He said, during his walk to become governor of Anambra State. Sometimes he would go to court alone. Sir, if you can hear me, I just want to tell you that you're not going to do this process alone. This time around, it is absolutely different. Um, we will not let you, I will not let you do this journey alone. Most of the time, all of the time, you're always the one reassuring us that everything is going to be fine. We should be rest assured. But I just want you to also know that we have your back 100%. So this is me telling you to be rest assured that you will definitely not walk this journey alone. We
Thank
started
you.
before you. You came into this journey. We chose you. It is not just your mandate, it is our mandate. We are all running for presidency through you. I am running for presidency through you. So I and many other people, we are going to fight for our mandate to be restored back to us. I know that, yes, your name is on it, but this is a collective fight for everyone. We know that this journey was never going to be easy, but best believe that we're going to stay with you till the very end because this is our country. Like you said, we have no other country except this one, so we have to
That's
save. And your vice, Datia, has also said that nobody's going to come to save us. We will be the one to save this country. Power belongs to the people. The people make up the structure. The people make up society. So good people, people willing to fight for democracy and fight for this country, we will do this journey with you. So, sir, be rest assured that no matter what, we will be here with you. And if every other person says they're no longer interested, at least I and four other people that I know for sure will be here with you. So you can be rest assured. I don't have a question for you because there is nothing you haven't said before that is new. You have always been consistent, and that is why I chose you to run on my behalf. So, for me to you, this is me telling you that thank you, and we will
Thank
be
you, my
here.
sister.
We will be here till the very end. We will stand by you, stand with you, and stand for you. So that's
Thank
just
you, my
this.
sister. I said it before that people did not vote for me. They invested their hope in me. It's a different thing from voting for me. And that their hope is that we will build a better society for them. And that's it. Parents used to tell me when I was in Anambra that because I said a lot of about education, they voted for me because they believe that their children will be in better school. And they thank me for building a better school for their children. So I thank you people and continue to say so from sincerely. So thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Okay, let's keep the conversation.
But
Doctor,
let me ask, when are we going to end?
well, how many hours do you want to give us, sir? How many? We have over 100 people
Ah,
that still want to ask you questions,
I was
and
going to say, when I was starting, I said to myself, we start by 5, we end by 6:30.
how?
We start by 6, it's now 9 o'clock, 3 hours.
Those
It
are with it.
actually, I have something I needed to do by 9. I'll be ready to go on as long as you people want. But now that it's said it's causing of prior facts and everything, I'm going to plead with you, David, and everybody. Let's find if it's a monthly, if it's a quarterly, or this, that we can do this. Because remember what I said, whatever happens, we need to stay on. So we
Okay,
really
so
need to
I
know
think
how
I
we
think
can always interact and everything.
okay, so I think let's take the last two. Let's take 2 more questions, then we'll see how it goes from there. But I think we should make this a quarterly something. It makes it better for us. Wellme Nigeria, have the
Yeah,
space, please.
or bi-monthly, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter to
bi-monthly is
me.
good. Wellme Nigeria, go on, please.
All right, thank you very much, Saddam. Okay, first, I just want to thank you very much, Your Excellency. First, let me to draw everybody's attention. I have to do some housekeeping for parallel fact. Please, guys, Saddam have said it, but in case if you are struggling to get the links, the link are on the Jumbotron. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, to every of our channels, because we want to be able to deal with the current. One of the battles we'll fight in this process is the media battle, where there will be a lot of fake news, a lot of propaganda, a lot of so many, clickbait. I think we started seeing it from the first day. So please follow that, and a lot of our spaces that go on every day, the 1 million Mamad space and all that. All right, sir. I don't really have a question. So first of all, I just want to say that I'm with Waimi. I have said personally, and I think a lot of Nigerians share that sentiment, that we are going to stay with you on this till the end. We are not, as in, we are going to stay on it till the